Let's talk about Sagittarius. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mimí Folco from Harvey Alchemy. I am the tarot reader, astrologer, numerologer, among many other magical things. We are beginning the Sagittarius season on November 22nd. And Sagittarius is the sign that's ruled by Jupiter, the planet of luck, expansion, fortune, higher learning, your connection to divinity, and the planet ruling God. So this Sagittarius season is essentially about how we can expand our minds a little bit and be able to open ourselves up to new ideas, maybe exploring new places, traveling, that's a Sagittarius theme, while also realizing that communication is important now. Scorpio season was all about doing that work within that is a little bit deeper and a little bit more about our own deepest secrets, whereas Sagittarius is about big communities, about growing and expanding and sharing with others. They're a very friendly sign. So I have your piles here on the table. I want to get to your readings. Before we do that, just a reminder that when I hit 300 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a 30-minute reading. So all you have to do to enter is make sure you're subscribed and comment your favorite emoji down below so that I know you are interested. All right, let's get started. All right, so here are your piles. Pile 1, you have this red agate-like slab. Pile 2, you have this translucent taupe. And pile 3, you have this pink and gray slab. Hello, pile 1. I have got what seems like a red agate. Very beautiful. Still has the price sticker on it. Love this piece. So we are going to be looking at what Sagittarius season is bringing to you, what you need to open your mind about. So we're going to start with the heart of the matter of what needs to be expanded on. There we go. The High Priestess. So right off the bat, that is your communication with your higher self. And Sagittarius does rule your higher education and also your higher consciousness. So being really in touch with that higher self that you are, that lives within you. So that's what we're really working with is your intuition. So maybe Scorpio season was a really big one for tapping into your intuition and accepting that you are a magical being. So yeah, this Sagittarius season is all about you really connecting with your own inner high priestess. Look at her. She knows all, or they know all. It's the Pride Tarot. So yeah, being really in touch, acknowledging the work that you did is going to be really important. And I think just generally like opening up your mind to what the spiritual realm could be like. I think maybe you could have a closed off way of viewing what the spiritual realm is like, or you've been told that this is what it should look like, and anytime you get a sign that doesn't really look like what you're told it's supposed to look like, you shrug it off. So pay attention to those signs that you're getting because you have a very unique way of expressing that spiritual realm. It's going to speak to you differently because you are unique. Okay, so what is blocking us here? That's what we should look at first. What's blocking us? The Nine of Swords. You're all in your head. Yeah, you're being really active in your mind about what spirituality is, or about what your emotional and intuitive capacity is. So you need to kind of take yourself out of that. You need to take yourself out of this Nine of Swords place where you're literally, I feel like there are messages around you all of the time and you're sort of just keeping your eyes ahead rather than looking into it because maybe you're a little bit nervous or maybe it's a little scary. So what's blocking you is your mind. And what's great about the Nine of Swords is it's called the nightmare card, and which can be really scary, but at the same time, you always wake up from a nightmare. So wake yourself up out of this mental process that you're having about what you think your connection to your high priestess is supposed to look like, and instead just connect. And you can connect easily just by yourself, sitting in a room, couple-minute meditation, just really ground, center yourself, and get connected to yourself. I think it's really about getting out of the mind. So how can maybe let's look at what the signs are that we're missing. What are the signs we're missing? Oh, I've got this guy. The Empress. So almost like really beautiful things that you see around you. I almost feel like your spirit guides or even your ancestors are trying to speak to you through really beautiful things, through jewelry, but also through being able to love you, you know, like your spirit guides are always, at least for me, like I said, it's all a unique experience, but for me, spirit guides are always holding, right? So they're always holding their human that they're guiding. So whenever you feel that nurture or that comfort or like you are lacking it, that's what your guides are giving you. They're giving you that comfort. They're giving you that unconditional love that the Empress provides. I also feel like anytime there's like a mom joke or I don't know, like some sort of plaque that is I don't know, like live, laugh, love, but it has the word mom in it. I feel like that is another message from your guides, or like that's how you know your guides are around. So just watch out for that. I don't know, that came in really specifically and I don't have any examples, but yeah, I just feel like something along those lines of some wooden plaque that says mom on it. So let's see what we need to watch out for this Sagittarius season. Okay, we got two coming out right there. The High Priestess. So again, that came out the second time. So again, watch out for the messages that are coming through to you. I really feel like this Sag season, and it's not the case for everyone, it's not going to be a spiritual Sag season for everybody, but this one for you is definitely about finding your beliefs. Sagittarius rules what you believe, your hopes in a way. And so allowing your mind to expand to the point where you're kind of learning a whole new way of existing with your beliefs. You've got the Knave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, and then you got the Six of Swords. So these are going to be two different things. So the Six of Swords and the Page of Wands of what you need to watch out for. I'd say watch out for reckless behavior or watch out for making rash decisions. Sometimes Sag, because it's a fire sign, can be really excitable and it's mutable, so it's really go with the flow and wants to just like explore everything. So I would say maybe to watch out for those rash decisions. Maybe try and give it a little bit more thought before you jump right in. Otherwise, I think you might be adding way too much onto your plate. That Six of Swords there is like you're just going to be a little overwhelmed by choices that you made, and then people will have those expectations put on you because you said you would do it. So just watch out for the promises that you make, and like notice if you're making a promise every day, and are you keeping every single one of those promises. I'm getting sort of Gemini energy when I pick these up, so maybe that means that you are you are in close encounters with a Gemini, or maybe you have Gemini placements yourself. That is my cat's collar, excuse her. So yeah, I'm getting some Gemini energy about either making too many promises, or like there is a Gemini in your life that you're promising too much to, or I don't know. I'm just hearing watch out for that Gemini around you. So not to put any hate on Geminis, you know, they're a great sign. But that's just what I'm hearing. So that Six of Swords, yeah, try not to promise too much. And don't feel bad if you have to walk away from some of your promises. I do feel like some of them, it's important for you to carry through. And I think you know which ones are important and that you need to carry on with. But some of them maybe were a little bit more frivolous and wouldn't really hurt anybody if you said, actually, I rescind my promise. I am no longer able to commit to that. So that's what you need to watch out for this Sagittarius season. All right, let's see what we are healing. Sagittarius isn't well known for healing. But I feel like Scorpio season was so intense, and especially with healing, that now with Sag season, it's all about putting it outside and expressing it a little bit more, right? So where the watery Scorpio sign was all about within, Sagittarius finally lets us like burst out with our energy and maybe express ourselves a little bit more. So yeah, we got the Star, which is an Aquarius card. So I'm feeling like air placements are pretty prominent for you. Maybe it's that you have absolutely none, like yours truly over here, or it's that you have a lot in your chart, or that you have friends, you have a lot of air sign friends. So what we're healing is our ability to hope and our ability to see a brighter future, to see that you're healing this need for materials, for material success, for money, right? Because this comes right after the Tower, where our stable structure of where we lived has been crumbled down, and now we're at the star where she has literally nothing, just like a little bit of clothes and this cup. So but she's very grateful for the resources that she does have. So I think what you're healing is sort of this no longer relying on that material success or on wealth or on what your idea of stability has always been, and instead you are focusing on what you do have. And you're focusing on how what you have brings you joy and brings you hope. And also just that look towards the brighter future, where maybe there was a little bit of, I feel like I'm not going anywhere, or like a lack of purpose. You are healing that you do have a sense of purpose and that you do have a belief that things will get better in the future. So that is your Sag season reading. I hope that was helpful. I hope you are doing wonderfully. I hope you've enjoyed November and have taken the opportunity to really retreat and heal within, like Scorpio season wanted us to. And now be sure to express all of that work that you've done to others. It's important to note that it doesn't all have to be lonely. So I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile 2. I have got your very translucent agate slice here. I love this piece. I want you to be able to see how translucent it is. It's so cool. So very, very cool. That is your pile marker. So we're going to be looking at what you are dealing with this Sag season. So first things first, we're going to look at the heart of the matter. What element of Sagittarius is really going to be prominent for you? There we go. We've got the 9 of Cups. And we also have the Queen of Pentacles. So being satisfied with what you already have. Definitely. That 9 of Cups right there. He's so emotionally fulfilled. And he's also got a lot of pride in what he has built. That 9 of Cups, you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of healing work. You've done a lot of intuitive work. You've really sat with your feelings on this one. Hi, boo. I'm sorry. We can't. So you've done a lot of work on this one, especially for Scorpio season. So being really proud of yourself for that and owning and honoring that work that you did. But I also think that it's important to note like the value that you had before you did all of that work and the value that you have now. I think it's really important to acknowledge that self-value, but also that idea of commitment, right? Both of these cards seem really fixed looking to me. That Queen is fixed and he looks really fixed with his arms crossed. So I almost feel like there's a need to commit this Sag season. There's a need to get some structure and get something more reliable going on. Which is not very Sagittarian. Sagittarian likes to explore and move around. It goes with the flow and it's very like it's a mutable sign. So I almost feel like this is going to be a test to the commitments that you have made. Maybe to find some footing, find some grounding, right? That's Queen of Pentacles right there. To find some grounding in what you're doing and to say that this will be what I do that is stable, secure, and reliable. So what is blocking us? Let's look at what's blocking us. Okay. We've got the 8 of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles. So a lot of what's blocking us, similar to pile 1, is about what's in the mind. And maybe that we are in a little bit of denial still. Maybe there's some work in Scorpio season that we just weren't emotionally ready to do, and that's fine. You can't every Scorpio season, like, get yourself into it as much as possible. But I do think that maybe there are some things you still have to look at. Like there's still some portions of Scorpio season that need to be brought into Sag for you to be able to look at them clearly, right? Because he's here on a tree. He's just like all the other swords. And maybe to separate yourself from your thoughts. You know, maybe separate yourself from your anxieties and all of the expectations that you put on yourself in your mind. The idea of being perfect is also coming to mind. Another blockage is feeling like maybe you don't have enough, right? So that Queen of Pentacles came up to say you really need to look at that self-value and assess how valuable you were before this time and now. So really accepting the value that you do bring and being grateful for what you do have is going to be really important. So this 3 of Pentacles being a blockage, I feel like maybe you think that you don't have enough or that there's not enough to go off of. I almost feel like there are some of you who are just starting out at a job, and so how can I reach for the stars when I'm literally just on the ground? So I think it's not about saying, oh, well, I could be the CEO of this company, even though I just started. It's just about that mindset shift, that there are possibilities. And that is very Sagittarian, that there are infinite possibilities. There's so many options. It's all about the luck that you bring to yourself and that optimism that Sagittarius does have. So those are your blockages. Let's see. What is going to be coming to you this Sag season? Ooh, okay. Well, we got Death and the Two of Wands. So this Two of Wands, honestly, is a very Sagittarian card to me because it does kind of talk about travel and about seeing the world. She's passing him a globe. Yep. And normally it is one person who is staring off out into the world and kind of like wanting to explore. But this is the after tarot deck, which means that it's one moment after the traditional Rider-Waite imagery. And so she's handing him the globe. You don't have to look at the world. It is around and you can access it. However, before you get too excited saying that you need to travel, you also got death with it. So I think that for you, it's almost now is not the time, and I'm sorry to say, now is not the time to go travel as much as possible and explore all of the options. Because we did get these fixed energies at the beginning, I'm really feeling like it's time for you to be committed, and it is testing your commitments. And I think this Sag season will bring you options and choices, and they are tests. So it's almost Saturnian in a way. And I'm really feeling, I'm just feeling like these limitations and restrictions are coming to you. So let me know where Sagittarius is in your chart, because if it's somewhere that that Saturn is transiting, so maybe you have Sag in the, or I don't know, something about Uranus and the 9th, or I don't know. But just let me know where Sagittarius is in your chart. I'm very curious to see what might be transiting it. So yes, that is what we need to what is coming to us is the end of this want to explore everything, and it's almost time to like get to work. That's what Saturn is really like. Saturn is just really present in this reading, and I'm sorry for feeling all over the place. Maybe that's indicative of how you're feeling as well, is a little bit scatterbrained all over the place. And so, yeah, we need to hone in and get fixed on what we need to do. So one other card did jump out, and I almost feel like this is what you need to release. So that is the Queen of Wands. Interesting. So that is a fixed card, and because it's wands, I almost feel like this is about the ego. So I think maybe releasing the very fixed ideas you have about what you should be doing. And maybe there's been a fear of commitment because you never saw yourself doing what you're doing now, or it just feels like it's below you or above you. But I feel like it's not about committing lifelong, but it's about committing to commitment, right? And committing to a choice rather than just allowing things to be at any given point. So I almost feel like this Sagittarius season is going to be filled with a lot of tests for you of, okay, well, here are a lot of options. Are you going to go towards those, or are you going to be able to stick with that choice that you made? Let's see where we can find our optimism this Sagittarius season, because it does feel like a lot of restriction, and that can be kind of tough to experience. So where you can find your optimism, you got the Ace and the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. So I think you can find your optimism in that right now seems like a time that you are collecting up some finances, that you're collecting this stability, security, and if it's not money, it's still the idea that you are safe. I love this, the Ace to the 10 of Pentacles, all of that. Anywhere that you find this feeling of safety, of nurturing, of comfort in a way, which I know is very Cups-like, but these are giving me that energy of like literally of a home, being really comfortable, having a fair estate where you feel safe, where you feel sheltered. Yeah, so where you're finding your optimism is also in the new ventures that come by committing, right? So maybe you have been doing a lot of things for a long time. You've had a lot of different options for a long time. That's been the cycle that you've been in. And now this is a new cycle, and it seems like, okay, well, now I'm committing. I only have one option, so I'm bored, basically, which Sagittarius can have a tendency to be bored because it always wants to be stimulated. So what you'll actually find by committing is that you are starting this new cycle, starting this new journey. So then you have an even more like broad understanding and exploration of what life has to give you. So, okay, where to find your optimism is literally anywhere that there is some form of sturdy reliability. That's really interesting. Okay, let's see what we are healing this Sagittarius season. I know Scorpio season is the season of healing, but I just feel like we can't be over it because it was so intense. So let's see what we're healing for Scorpio season, or sorry, Sagittarius season. The Nine of Pentacles. Very interesting. Look at that Nine of Pentacles. I don't know that I've ever seen this card. Huh. What we are healing. Well, first off, just that yellow dress, which is relating to our like idea of power, of feeling like maybe we had power by never committing to something or never placing ourselves in this constant state of of our choosing. So maybe we're healing what the idea of power or where we gain our power from. That maybe we felt we had power because we were unexpected or unpredictable, right? People never knew what we were going to do next, and that was fun, and that felt empowering. So I think maybe you're healing the idea of where your empowerment is going to be coming from. And I think it's going to be coming from within more, especially if you were able to do that work during Scorpio season. I think a lot of your power is going to be shining from within. And it's not about the external circumstances. And that's why it might be easier to commit, because the commitment isn't what is giving you all of that validation. It's you that's giving you the validation. And what you're committing to is just what you do. It's not who you are. So that is your Sagittarius season reading. I hope that was helpful. It was a little scatterbrained for me, but maybe that is speaking to how you're feeling right now. So if so, I hope you're able to find some grounding, especially with all these pentacles on the table. I feel like it's important for you to really ground yourself, especially with this Queen of Pentacles here and the Nine of Cups, who's all about emotional fulfillment, feeling proud of the work that you've done. So I will see you next time. Please comment below where Sagittarius is in your birth chart if you know, because I'm very curious. All right, bye. Hello, pile 3. We have got your big chunk of a slate crystal here, or a slab of crystal. I don't know what this is, but it's filled with pinks and grays, so it kind of looks like a really foggy morning sky. All right, so that is your crystal. Let's see what you are dealing with this Sagittarius season. So let's look at the theme of what we are dealing. What Sagittarian theme are we looking at? Here we are. These stars. Look at that. So optimism, right? The star rules hope and a brighter future. And Sagittarius is known for being a really optimistic sign. If you want to know more about Sagittarius season, I will be posting my astrology video tomorrow. I post a weekly breakdown of the astrology of the week ahead, so you can check that out. But long story short, Sagittarius is a very optimistic sign. So we are dealing with our efforts to remain optimistic, definitely. And also I think there's a need to find your community. And Sagittarius does rule our larger community, where it's the opposite to Gemini, where Gemini is your neighborhood, like around the area, short commute. Sagittarius rules foreign travel and your foreign community. So finding other people that aren't exactly like you, and to be able to bring out that uniqueness within you and within others. So we're dealing with our optimism, and we are dealing with building a larger community for ourselves. So let's see what is blocking us. The Ace of Pentacles. I think the actual act of doing it, of putting yourself out there, and of almost of vulnerability, because you are putting your value out and you are hoping that somebody finds it and is attracted to it. and reaches out to you. I think there's a lot about you wanting others to come to you, sort of thing, but you have to channel that inner extroverted self that we do all have a little bit of extroversion within ourselves, especially when we feel comfortable to express ourselves. So I think you have to channel that real need to self-express, and you need to be reaching out. So you need to be creating the community that you're hoping to find. So that's what's blocking you, is that Ace of Pentacles, that beginning, that start, that willingness to just go after it, and that vulnerability about looking silly while doing it. Okay, what is going to find us this Sagittarius season? The Three of Swords. Look at that. That is such a powerful Three of Swords card. So what's going to find us this Sagittarius season? I think passion. I think passion is really going to find us. I think that maybe some fears will be put on the table. Again, I feel that vulnerability, obviously, with the Three of Swords, a very vulnerable card. And also that concept of protection. Feeling like you always have to protect yourself this Sagittarius season is not about that. It is about you being able to put yourself out there and not be heartbroken if you know, rejection comes your way. Accepting rejection and then moving on from it. Knowing that it isn't a personal note on who you are or what kind of person you are, or if you are good or bad or your flaws. It's just a rejection. It just doesn't mesh with whoever is on the other side of it. So what this season is going to bring you might be some of these feelings, maybe feeling a little bit triggered by the idea of being rejected or not being loved or not being good enough. But I think it's also the chance for you to learn how to protect yourself from it, and not protect yourself from it in the way that you are hiding and, okay, well, I'm never going to be vulnerable again because then I'll never be rejected, but more to be vulnerable and not be afraid of the rejection and not fear it so much that you just hide in your own home. So it is an opportunity. All challenges are always opportunities. And that's just a change of your mindset. And, you know, I used to think like, oh, that's just you being in denial about a situation being tough. No, it just means life can be tough sometimes. And if you just sit in that difficulty all of the time, it's not going to get better. So instead, to see this difficult time as something that you can learn from and grow from, and instead, that's when you start to kind of reframe the way that you see difficult situations. And then you're able to find that optimism, which is what this Sag season is all about for you. So let's look at what we can do to help accelerate this journey of finding our optimism. Oh, okay. This guy just kind of lazily came out. The Page of Swords. So I think, and this came out really casually. So I almost feel like this is, casually look at this. How did you feel when I was talking about being vulnerable and about protecting yourself and maybe your fear of rejection? Being able to reflect a little bit in your thoughts. I think journaling might be a good idea, or, you know, whatever your version of expressing yourself in a way that you can reflect back on it, to be able to see where you've come from, where you started, and where you are now is going to be really important. Let's see, realizing that your thoughts have value too. You have these three guys right there. This is the After Tarot deck, so it's one moment after the traditional Rider-Waite imagery. And so normally the Page of Swords is alone, and one moment after we have three guys coming up. So you have prepared your thoughts, you have sat in your thoughts long enough, and now it is time for you to express those thoughts to others. And that is such a theme of what Scorpio season did for us, was it was all about retreating within and healing and almost not really sharing too much of ourselves with others. But this Sagittarius season is definitely about communicating the work that you did and connecting with others, making a community, especially for you, making a community of people who feel safe to talk about what they're healing. So these words and thoughts and maybe anxieties of what you've had are actually what's going to bring people to you. It's what's going to attract people to you because you are willing to speak about it. Okay, what else can we do to facilitate this? The Seven of Pentacles. Again, just sharing your value, spreading the wealth. You may not feel like your anxieties or fears or, you know, whatever you're dealing with right now are valuable because they're painful to you. But to other people, that is something that is so, it's going to be mind-blowing to be able to bring other people together in that way. Bringing your values. 7 is the number of self-honesty and of spirituality and of your intuition. And Pentacles is this very earthy suit, right? I mean, it's ruled by Earth. And it's all about stability and physical exchange. And so here is this person who found these 7 pentacles, right? They kind of harvested these 7 pentacles. And one moment later, they are giving them away. So you don't have to hold on to all of your resources. You don't have to stay so private. Try and open up a little bit this Sagittarius season is basically what I'm saying. Okay, so let's look at what we are healing. Although I do feel like this whole Sag season reading has been about healing. Oh, okay. But these two came out. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Being able to self-reflect in a way that is honest, open, and based on reality. I think maybe sometimes your self-reflection methods can be really, I do think that journaling would be really helpful because you can write everything that you're feeling. You don't have to judge anything that you're feeling. And a week later, when you're feeling maybe a little bit better, read those journal entries and you may realize that some of your reflections were not based on reality and you kind of have a warped sense or a dysmorphic way of viewing yourself. And that's very Neptunian. So we did have a lot of trines to Neptune during Scorpio season because Scorpio is trine Neptune. So there was a lot that could be facilitated in regards to not having a very strong sense of what's real and really just feeding into the story that you're telling yourself. So we're sort of healing that. We're healing this twisted story that we tell ourselves about who we are or what we do or what kind of person we are. And so that's what we're really healing, is being able to see the reality of the situation, to continue self-reflecting, continue these processes, but also to see the reality of the situation and to be able to move from it, to work from it, take action. It's a Knight. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. I'm curious to know where Sagittarius is in your chart, and I'm curious to know which of these cards kind of resonated with you the most, or what maybe didn't resonate. Let me know. I love to hear your feedback. So I will see you guys next time.